Wait.
What's going on, YouTube? Spider Slayer 5 here, and I'm here bringing you guys a live gameplay commentary, playing some good old Giant on Black Ops 3 Zombies. And we just got started, and this video isn't probably going to be too long. It was a commentary that I've had the idea for this commentary for a while now, and I just felt like, you know what, why not make it now, you know, I guess. So, as you can probably have already guessed by the title of the video, because you wouldn't have clicked on it if you weren't at least somewhat interested in what the title was, subject of today's commentary is going to be of a bit more serious material than what I normally do on this channel. And I haven't done a commentary in a while, so we're just gonna give this a go. Especially since I'm not that good at live gameplay commentaries, but we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna see how everything goes, and yeah. But the topic of today's commentary is suicide. Now, suicide can be a very touchy subject for many different people. So if you don't really want to be hearing anything about it, then just click off now and just watch another one of my commentaries or something if you just want something a little more lighthearted, because suicide is generally not a subject that many people take lightly. I mean, I'm excluding the, kill yourself jokes on the internet. I'm excluding those because, I mean, well, those aren't really that serious. The KMS and KYS. Those aren't really too serious, so. But real life suicide. It's definitely a problem, and it's just one of those things that it's there, but no one really looks at it or focuses on it because, well, I mean, let's face it, suicide it isn't really that common in today's modern culture in terms of things that people talk about. But suicide, for those of you who don't know, and I don't know how you don't know, because this is a word as old as time, but suicide is when you take your own life. And I'm just going to be talking about what suicide means to me, and generally what you can kind of do to help prevent someone that you know or care about from committing suicide. Because there are just very easy, simple things that you could do that could make all the difference in whether or not somebody lives or not. And I think that's no easy thing to claim. But so basically, I'm sorry that mine's not fully here. This is just one of those topics that's very sensitive to me, because I mean, I'm probably what many people would consider your average ordinary teenager, for the most part, besides the fact that I'm hella awkward. But many teens will experience depression and suicide in their life, even if life really isn't that bad. It's just something that happens. You can't really control it, it happens. Sometimes you just get really down and feel depressed and suicidal. And it sucks. I mean, having depression is awful. And I mean, if you can avoid becoming depressed, I would say by all means go for it. But I know that I've experienced suicidal thoughts before, and I've never ever come close to doing anything. I've never harmed myself. I've never come close to killing myself or anything like that. And I hope I would never come close to any of that, but I do know people who have struggled with suicide, and I know someone who did indeed take their own life a long time ago. And it sucks. And this is definitely going to be one of those harder commentaries to kind of keep upbeat and going, because I mean I'm gonna be getting lost in thought a lot. But anyway, many people have experienced suicidal thoughts. It's just something that happens. Like, you could have a great life, You could have, you know, great parents that are very supportive, fantastic brothers and sisters, great friends. You could have all that, but still experience depression and have suicidal thoughts. And depression isn't a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of, you know, oh, this person, they're just a wimp, they can't handle it, their life's so perfect. Everyday normal people become depressed for a multitude of reasons. And in all honesty, I think the main reason why I've decided to make this commentary is just because I mainly just want to talk about the ways that you can help prevent someone you love from committing suicide. And honestly, it's just one simple thing. Listen. If you have a friend or family member that's, you can tell is feeling kind of down, or they don't seem to be doing too well, just all you have to do is just ask them what's wrong and then listen to what their problem is. And honestly, that can make the difference, all the difference in the world. And I know it sounds cheesy, you know, oh, just listen to them, you know, but it's honestly true. I know that, so like I said, I've never come close to wanting to commit suicide. I've had suicidal thoughts, but never ever come close to actually doing it, because I realize that, you know, I do have people who care about me, and I personally could never stand the thought of putting someone that I love through the pain of me killing myself. Like, I could never stand the pain that I would cause my family, my friends. I could never stand that pain. That, like, I'd be dead and I'd be hurting like hell in my heart, because it would, I hate hurting people that I care about. And when you kill yourself, you don't end the pain, because most people kill themselves because they're in some sort of physical or emotional pain. But when you kill yourself, you don't end the pain, you just simply transfer it to someone else. And that someone else is usually your friends and family. So I've had suicidal thoughts before, but I've never ever come close to actually committing suicide. And I would say I do have depression, but it's definitely not as bad as other people. Like, there'll be times when I just feel really down and bummed. But thankfully, I have, you know, I have nice parents and great friends that help me get through all those, you know, times when I'm feeling kind of down and lonely. And I'm grateful for it, because not everyone has that. Not everyone has fantastic family members or great friends that can help them get through these things. And that's what leads to suicide. People commit suicide because they feel like they're alone, and they feel like they don't matter because no one's looking out for them. They don't have anyone, you know, wanting to hang out with them, wanting to see how those days going. No one to really take an interest in them. And I'm kind of here to say that that's wrong. No matter what, there always will be someone, somewhere, that will care about you, no matter what. Even though it may feel like you're alone. Because, I mean, there have been many times when I feel like I'm just totally and completely alone, but I do have great friends and family that help me get through that. And everyone does. Everyone has someone who will help them, because despite what everyone always, you know, makes it seem like, no one actually wants to see someone else deteriorate to the point where they just want to kill themselves. Unless you have something totally screwed up in your brain, no one wants to see someone kill themselves. Even if they're not, like, a close friend of yours, even if, you know, you don't get along with them. And I feel like in today's society, no one actually wants someone to kill themselves. No one actually wants someone to go through and do it. So, you know, when people are like, you know, you make a stupid comment and people are like, yo, kill yourself. No one actually wants you to kill yourself. I mean, okay, some people might, but generally that's just the internet. And, well, if you take anything on the internet personal, then then I feel bad for you, because the internet ain't gonna be nice. But it's like, honestly, there always is someone out there who will listen to you and care about you no matter what you're going through. And it's never a burden either. It's never a burden to care about. It's never a burden to just sit down and listen to somebody. I can speak from experience because I've prevented some of people that I've cared about from committing suicide by just simply sitting down and taking 10-15 minutes out of my day to listen to them and talk to them. That's it. I didn't do anything else. I didn't even really have to give them a pep talk. I just basically said, you know, just tell me what's going on, and they just told me, and they felt better. They felt better about themselves because they just simply realized that there is somebody who cares about them. And like I say, it's never a burden to just sit down and listen to somebody. But there was one time, and it was when I was a lot younger, so I know that I can't really hold it against myself because I was much younger than I was. I was actually really young. Like, I was not like super duper young, but I was, you know, I was like 11, 12. And there was this girl that lived near me in my neighborhood. And we were pretty good friends, you know. We would hang out and play around with the neighbor kids and whatnot, have just a grand old time. And every now and then, and she had a pretty rough home life from what I gathered. Her mom had issues, and I have no clue what her dad was. I don't know if he was alive, dead, if she even had a father that was present for her. I have no clue what her total home life situation was like, but I know that it was rough. She definitely had her issues, and her home life was tough. And every now and then, you know, when we would be done hanging out with the other neighbor kids, she would come by and just want to talk to me. Just talk. Just sit on the swing that I had outside my place, and we would just talk. I mean, I wouldn't even have to say anything. I just listened to her while she'd just go on and on about anything, really. Sometimes it was stuff about life at home. Other times it was things about... other times it was things about just whatever. She would just tell me anything. And then there was one day when she came over, and I was playing with like 2 action figures outside, and she came over. I saw her coming over on a bike, and I didn't want to talk. I don't know why. I mean, I was feeling perfectly fine. I wasn't sick. I wasn't angry or anything. I was feeling totally fine that day. She just came by, and I just was like, you know what? I just don't feel like talking to her today. I don't know where it came from. It just did. I just didn't feel like wanting to talk to her. So, I just packed up and went inside when she turned a blind corner, so she couldn't see me anymore, and I went inside. And just kind of hid. And then, you know, I don't think I went out for the rest of the day. And that is that moment right there, that choice I made to not listen to her and just go inside and hide out. I still believe it is one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life because I never saw her again. She was gone. I never saw her again. And that right there is probably when my depression started because I blamed myself for what happened to her because I just kept on thinking if I just stayed out and just talked to her, she probably would have been okay and things would have worked out fine. And I don't know that for sure because unless you just flat out ask, you never know if someone actually is going to kill themselves or not. There are signs, but the signs are never definite. They're never like a guaranteed you know the answer right away because you can just read people that well. That's just not how it works. So I made the choice to just hide away from her inside, and I never saw her again. She was gone. And her place was packed up and moved out a little while later, and I have never heard anything from her family ever since. Not that I really would expect to anyway. Her mom I think had drug issues. I don't really know. But if there was anything that I picked up, I learned from that experience, you know, little 12-year-old me, I think I grew up a lot that day because I realized that everyone's going through something. Like, it doesn't matter how great life looks. everyone does have a problem. Even if you do have good friends and family, you can still have problems that affect you and hurt you. So, my big word of advice is that honestly, it doesn't even matter if they appear to be suicidal or not. If you have a friend or family member that's looking, I mean, it doesn't even matter if they're looking down or not. If they just want to talk to you about what's going on in their life, honestly, I cannot urge you more. I cannot emphasize enough how much I think you should go out and talk to them. Like, it doesn't matter what you have going on, you should talk to them. Yeah, I mean, that's just my standpoint on it. If somebody's having a problem and they just really need a friendly ear, it should be your duty to go and make sure that they're okay. And that may sound like a big responsibility, because it does kind of seem like you're putting someone else's life is in your hands, but that is the truth of the matter. Because human beings, we're social creatures. We thrive in the presence and company of others. So having just somebody there that you can just talk to, and that someone who would just listen to you, is probably could make all the difference in the world for them. It makes them feel important, it makes them feel satisfied, it makes them feel wanted and needed. And that's what most people who kill themselves suffer from. They feel like they're not wanted or needed. So they figure, well, then why am I even here wasting stuff, wasting resources, wasting air, when no one really wants me around? And that's what most people believe when they're suicidal. They believe that no one cares about them and that no one wants them. When that's not, many times that's not true. Because from my experience, there always is someone out there who will care about you and listen to you. And I'm just urging you guys that if you have a friend or a family member who just really wants to talk to you, and especially if they seem kind of down, I think you should talk to them. By all means. You should take it upon yourself to be that person that they need right then and there, and listen to them, just for a little while.
Oh, the glorious blood!
I don't mean to make this like a really... I apologize if this is kind of going on and it's just dragging on, but I feel like this is just one of those issues where you can't rush it. You really can't, and it's something that I take seriously. I take suicide very seriously. Now, not gonna lie, I mean, I'm no saint. I've made the kill yourself joke to my friends and family many times. So I'm not a perfect example. I'm not one of those. I'm not gonna be a Nazi and be like, oh, you can't say kill yourself because that's demoralizing suicide, and that's making suicide not as big of an issue. I'm not gonna be like that. You can make all the suicide jokes you want. I don't care. That's you. But I'm just saying that when it comes down to it in real life, and you've got somebody who looks like they might want to kill themselves, you should just take it upon yourself to just be that person that they need and just listen. You don't have to talk back. You don't have to offer solutions. You just should listen. So that's my little spiel. I'm sorry if this wasn't really funny or all too educational. It's just kind of more of a tip, what you should do if you have someone who might be wanting to kill themselves. And just basically to sum it up, you know, just listen to them. You don't even have to talk back, just listen. And I promise you, it'll make all the difference in the world. I know that I learned from my mistake. Ever since what happened to me happened, I always made sure that I would be there and listen to my friends no matter what. I don't care what was going on, I would be there for them. I made that promise to myself. And I've stopped some of my friends and loved ones from killing themselves because I've just been a listening ear, because just that little gesture just makes all the difference in the world. So I kind of emphasize this more, but just be a decent person and just listen to somebody. Just listen to what they have to say, and just kind of like learn something new about them. Just listen. So that's the end of this commentary, I would say. I hope you well, I actually kind of think this is kind of a weird commentary to say I hope you enjoyed, because it's definitely a touchy and iffy subject. I was debating whether or not this would be a good idea to do it or not, but I figured, you know what, sometimes you just got to do what isn't popular and what might be uncomfortable for the greater good. I know this is just beginning to sound cheesy. I'm no saint. I've made suicide jokes before too, but when it comes down to the real deal, to the real thing, all I can say is just listen to them, just be there for them, and just remind them that they are needed and that you do care about them. Even if somebody you don't even know that well, if they just need somebody to listen to, just be that person. Just give up your ears for 10 to 15 minutes and become the person that someone needs you to be. It's not that difficult. I mean, it's not that difficult, and the sense of reward and fulfillment you get afterwards, especially if you do find out that they were thinking about suicide, it's probably the best feeling in the world of basically just thinking that you saved somebody's life, because in reality you did. You don't have to be a big strong guy, you don't have to be super fast, you don't have to have superpowers or a big weapon to save lives. You can just simply listen to somebody, and that can save hundreds of lives. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for just kind of listening to me kind of be depressing, because I realize that this is definitely one of the more depressing commentaries that I've done. But I hope you enjoyed, and even though it's too good thing to say for this kind of commentary. And I'll see you in the next video of whatever I make. Bye.